I'm Sean Locke, and welcome to Argumental, the show where the hottest names in comedy debate the biggest issues facing mankind. Issues like, when is Simon Cowell's wedding? Do women ever go fishing? I suppose it's the being quiet. And is it wrong to take someone cottaging if they don't know what it means? Here to argue such burning issues are our teams. In the red corner, Red Captain Sean Walsh and his guest, Richard Herring. And on the blue team, Captain Robert Webb and his guest, Ardal O'Hanlon. So, let's kick off with round one. And tonight, the subject under discussion is university. 3 years of soaking up the wisdom of our finest minds, unless you're doing drama. Mind-expanding, thought-provoking, life-enhancing, chicken-licking uni. But now the party's over. Students wouldn't think twice about spending £9 grand a year on skunk and condoms, but £9 grand for tuition fees? I'd rather be thick. The issue I want the teams to argue over is this. University is a waste of money. Supporting this statement on behalf of the red team, it's Sean Walsh.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. University is a waste of money. Of course it is. Think, surely the point in going to university is so that you can go out and get a job afterwards. But if you haven't noticed recently, there are no fucking jobs. £27,000 it is, all in all, to go to university. £27,000. I've walked past a student house. That doesn't look like a £27,000 lifestyle, does it? All you need is some posters. The Che Guevara poster with, and this is important, no idea who he actually is. I think he was in Pirates of the Caribbean line. The Mona Lisa poster, the one with the spliff. And the Jack Daniels poster. And just the poster, because, of course, if you're a real student, you don't have the money to go out and buy an actual bottle of Jack Daniels. No. All you can afford are cans of Carling. And you might be thinking, yeah, but, you know, technically, if all you've got is some posters and some cans of Carling, then you don't have a degree. But you don't need a degree, do you? How much do you really need to know about the world anyway? Physics, don't put a cat in the microwave. Geography, avoid Scotland. French, I said chicks. And history, it doesn't matter how long you look at it, what Hitler did was out of order. You know, I didn't go to university, but I didn't need to. I didn't need to go to university. I didn't need to waste £27,000. I've got a Richard Herring in my pocket.
Yeah.
When was the Cuban Missile Crisis? Richard?
1962.
Brilliant. What was the name of Henry VIII's fourth wife?
Anne of Cleves, the Flanders mare.
Definitely. But even if you don't have your own Richard Herring, which I appreciate you might not, you know, you don't need to spend £27,000 anymore. We've got broadband, which is just £10 a month. Where's Robert the Bruce from? Simple. Google it. What happens in Hamlet? Google it. How many girls does it take to shit into a cup? I know this one. 2. Richard told me. What team should I vote for? Red. We've done it. Yeah. We've won it. We've done it. We've done it. We've done it.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for that very convincing argument.
Thank you.
OK, next up, opposing the statement, it's Robert Webb.
Thank you. University is not a waste of money. Let's look at who went and who didn't go. OK, who went to university? Gandhi, yeah? Professor Brian Cox. Sting. Yeah, all right, shall I go on? All right, let's go on. All right, who didn't go to university? Hitler, yeah? Louis Walsh. Genghis Khan. Fred West. Are we starting to see a pattern here? Yes. People who didn't go to university are either murderers or obnoxious TV personalities or both. Yes, there are exceptions. Margaret Thatcher somehow got into Oxford, but there wasn't much competition. Look at the timing. It was just after the war, when most other people were dead. I mean, it depends on what you want. If you want to go and work in a bar, go and work in a bar. If you want to be a doctor, I mean, look, if I go to the doctor and I say, "Hello, doctor, I feel incredibly unwell. I'm a little bit worried I might have cancer." Well, I don't want the doctor to say, "Oh, that's fine. I didn't actually go to university. I thought it was a waste of money. But I have got this B in GCSE biology." So I think what's wrong with you, Robert, it's very common, actually. There's something has gone wrong with your photosynthesis. So what I'd... it's quite common. What I'd like you to do for me is to go home, get a chickpea, put the chickpea in some damp cotton wool, stuff the cotton wool into a test tube, leave it for 2 days or a couple of weeks. I only got a B. And then go back to it, and if it's got... If it's sprout, I mean, it's sprout, if it's grown out, if it's got it coming out of it, so I didn't go to university. I thought it was a waste of money. I've never really had to express myself with any degree of real precision. But if it's got it coming out of it, if it's germinated, then that means that, yes, you probably do or don't or do have cancer. Is that okay? I think I would leave that doctor's surgery, and I'm not afraid to say it, dissatisfied. And what's the alternative? Are you going to be one of those people who go around saying, "I went to the University of Life"? Look, I went to the University of Life, and then I went to the University of Cambridge, and I can tell you which is best. It's not free. It was free for me. I wish it was still free. It's not free anymore. But as Gandhi said, screw it, go for it, worry about the money later. Vote blue. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. So, Richard Ardler, what have you got to say to back up your teammates?
Sean completely ignored all the positives. The fact that you go to university, you meet lots of people from different backgrounds, Sean. People you can then ignore and laugh at with people from your own background.
To be fair to him, he was meant to avoid those areas, the positive areas.
27 grand. What's that? You know, you get a brain for that. And you did mention that there's no work. You can sell a kidney. And do you know how much you get for a kidney? 27 grand. So it all evens out in the end.
27 grand, it's the cost of a mid-range Audi. Don't save up for the Audi. Go to college instead.
I mean, I didn't go.
That's become apparent.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I mean, I didn't go to university. I get all my knowledge from the £1 million drop.
See, I worked very hard and did go to university and didn't lose my virginity till I was nearly 20 years old. So, you know, that's an argument for not going to university.
No, I think there was more things involved than that, Richard. I think what they should do is they should price courses according to how useful they are. Like, for example, like medicine, you know, science courses, engineering should be £1,000 a year. Then the really pointless ones...
English.
Yeah. Yeah, like media studies, drama, training to be a vet. What's the point of that? That should be 50... I mean, you're going to eat the animals anyway. It doesn't matter if they're ill. You just have to cook them longer.
Bob, you went to university.
Yes.
And you're sitting there.
I am.
New team captain.
Your powers of observation.
Thank you. Thank you. And I didn't, and I'm sitting there, we're both in the same position.
I'm with
but you had
so
to
far.
work for it, and I did fuck all. I did nothing.
There's another thing, you know, on the economics of it. There's students can avail of discounts, so they can buy pizzas at a great discount and shirts. And if they buy those items in sufficient numbers, they'll probably make a big saving.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if I wasn't thinking of voting blue before Ardle said that, he's made a lot of people's minds up with that. So, it's time to decide Who made the best case? The audience have to decide. Hold up your red card if you agree with Sean, who thinks university is a waste of money, and your blue card if Robert convinced you university is not a waste of money. Please vote now! That's a victory for the blue team. Well done, Robert and Ardle. OK, our next round is called That's a Brilliant Idea. We're going to present our teams with a series of preposterous statements, then they've got to produce an argument in support of those statements. When I think they've made a convincing enough case, I'll press the buzzer. And we'll move on. And they must begin each argument with the word, that's a brilliant idea. Robert and Richard, you'll play this one. Robert, we'll start with you. Here's your first statement. Britain's next monarch should be chosen by reality TV.
I think that's a brilliant idea, if for no other reason than to see the look on Prince Charles's face. I mean, you wait 60 years for your mum to die, and then the job goes to Jedward.
Richard, the NHS should be run by Rupert Murdoch.
That is a brilliant idea because I guess if you had got some very terminal disease and you were going to die and the doctor was going through the case notes, at least page 3 would cheer you up a bit, eh?
Robert, there should be a silent P before the S in Smints. I wrote this one.
That is a brilliant idea.
Thank you. It is a brilliant idea. Richard, to stop discrimination, everyone should be forced to wear masks.
That's a brilliant idea, actually, but it wouldn't have to just be face masks, right? Because you'd be able to tell people's race and sex and probably sexuality from their body, so they'd have to wear a mask over their entire body, like a burqa, I guess. So sure, it'd be easier, actually, rather than having that, is just to save a lot of material. Why don't they just cut out the bit that they cut out from the burqa and stick that over all of the men's eyes? That would that would work. And we could do that. We could do that to everyone, no discrimination.
Robert, Pippa Middleton should donate her bum to the nation.
That is a brilliant idea because then she will be the nation's favourite arse. Whereas Mick Hucknall will remain the nation's biggest arse.
Richard, yes. The Pope should arrive everywhere by hang glide.
That is genuinely a brilliant idea.
I know.
But only if he's wearing, like, the pointy hat, as I believe it's technically called.
Yeah.
Because that would make him aerodynamic. If he's wearing, like, the skull cap one, they should fire him out of a cannon. And it should only be the Pope is the only one out of the Catholic priesthood that should be allowed to do that. Otherwise, they'll have to put sort of anti-aircraft guns around playgrounds. Well
done. OK, well done, both of you. But who do the audience think did the best job? If you think it was Richard, hold up your red card. If you think it was Robert, hold up your blue card. Please vote now. That looks like a victory for the red team. Well done, Richard. Join us after the break to find out if pets should be banned.
You're the guy I see every morning on the way to work.
She's my best friend. I'm a lover.
I think you're so hot. Jamie, will you ask me out?
100 new names, 100 new reasons to share a Coke.
This is him.
I need you to look at something.
This was not in our vows.
This is her.
Are those real?
Yeah, I'm just young.
This is 40. Own it on Blu-ray and DVD now.
32red.com. Join tonight for £32 free.
Now hang me up to dry. You run me out too many times.
More and more families are discovering Nutella. Each 15-gram portion contains 2 whole hazelnuts, some skimmed milk and cocoa. And Nutella releases its energy slowly. Wake up to Nutella.
Argos it and get a free £5 voucher when you spend £50 or a free £10 voucher when you spend £100. Argos it.
Wow.
Why have thousands of women already tried Calin Plus?
I knew that calcium was key to keep bones strong. But what I've just learned is that vitamin D is also very important. It helps the body use calcium. New Calin Plus yogurt. 100% of the daily needs in vitamin D in one single pot.
New Calin Plus from Yoplait. Calcium plus vitamin D for strong bones. And Yoplait supports the National Osteoporosis Society.
Over the years, I slowly put on the pounds until I just didn't feel like me anymore. That's when I said, enough. Now I'm back.
A study has shown that XLS Medical, combined with eating less and keeping active, could help you lose up to 3 times more weight than dieting alone. It binds some dietary fat and is gentle on your system.
Lose up to 3 times more weight with XLS Medical.
First they're sour, then they're sweet.
Oh, thanks.
Maynard Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone. And now, grab a bag of new Maynard Sour Patch Kids Soda Pops. Join in on Facebook.
I kissed you goodbye at the airport, held you so close to me, I said, so here we are now, and I can't stop from crying, Lily. And you said, hey, hey, ho, you know this is the way to go. You will forget about me when I'm on that plane. Forget about me when I'm on that plane. Tonight, 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 I wanna be with you tonight, 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 I wanna be with you tonight. The plane took off and my love went with it. The chilly wind waved my both cheeks off. And the man who stood next to me said, everything is gonna be alright, 'cause everything ought to be. I kissed you goodbye at the airport, held you so close to me.
Estrella Damm, the beer of Barcelona.
Oh, you definitely have.
Complete.
Zach was not a monster.
Be careful, there's something bad here. It's about the taste.
Finally, someone who understands.
Mr. Lister gambled you in a poker game, sir, and I'm afraid to report he lost you.
We're all deeply sorry, bud. Apart from me and him and him.
Look at that, Dredge. Brilliant.
Red Dwarf 10, next Thursday at 9, exclusive to Dave.
Oh, look, I'm going to pop it up.
Welcome back to Argumental. Right, on to our live guest round. And to help us get to the heart of the next debate, welcome tonight's special guest, Asher Tank and Sinbad.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Asher. And you've brought us with your snake,
Yeah.
Sinbad. Sinbad, he's got sticking his tongue out there. Is he hungry?
He shouldn't be. Not right now. No, he's eaten.
When did he eat?
Last week.
Last week?
Yeah.
So what does he eat?
Rats.
Lovely. How many rats does he have?
Just the one.
Right, so one rat a month. That's the same diet as Sean Walsh. That's one rat a month. And this snake you have is not dangerous at all?
No, not unless
anyway,
you're a rat.
Everyone's safe here. Although she did used to be in a double act. Oh, dear, bloody honest, I'm having a good time. Just one more question is, do you have a special bag for it, like you would for a trombone? OK, so thank you for joining us, Asha. And the statement I want you to argue is, all pets should be banned. And first up, it's Richard.
Go on.
It's not like this game isn't hard enough already without standing with a snake just out of my vision here. This is slightly terrifying. The only way I'm going to tell that I'm about to die is by your face going, ah! That'll be the last thing I see. Think of all the shoes you could make out of that. So, are you safe because you're disguised as a tiger? That's... OK, we'll get on. So, of course, all pets should be banned. We've been at war with animals since the start. Animals have been trying to kill us. We're trying to kill them. That's nature's way. To begin with, the animals were better at killing us. The saber-toothed tigers, they got us. Then we got weapons. We got better at killing them. We got the upper hand. Now we're pretty much in control, but the animals occasionally have a little crack back, take a few of us out, and they with sharks and bears and stingray. Got one, didn't it? Good work from the stingray. You wouldn't expect it. My favourite one is that little fish that swims up the end of your cock. That is an impressive... They thought of ways to get you, but they're not our friends, they're our enemies. Why have pets got this special status? And I think it's because they're clever, they've sneaked up. They've realised there's a war going on, the humans are winning the war, and so they've kind of sneaked in, get our affection, we have to look after them. Basically, pets are, in this war between animals and humans, are collaborators. Then if they're not collaborators, then they're sleeper agents. Your budgie's sitting there thinking, when I've worked out how to use the espresso machine, then we're going for it. That's... I think the danger with having a pet in your house 24/7, it's the temptation, isn't it? If you leave a man alone in a room long enough with anything, you know what he's going to start doing. It's there 24/7, it's convenient, it's warm, it's fine. The temptation's going to be there. You don't know, ladies. You don't know what men are like. If you put a man in a room with anything the size of a hamster or smaller, at some point he's going to ask himself, can I fit that up my anus? That is your big temptation in men's reach. That, if nothing else, is why you should be voting red this time. Thank you.
Well done.
Well done. And next up, opposing Richard and arguing that pets should not be banned, it's Ardle.
Yes. Yes, I am going to argue this evening that all pets should not be banned. I agree with Richard. Some pets should indeed be banned, but there is one notable exception, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm going to say. It is the dog. Of course the snake should be banned. I mean, look at it. It's totally unacceptable as a pet. I'm sorry. Fine as a draft excluder, absolutely second to none. As an organic, self-knotting tie, I think it's brilliant. But the dog is an exception, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we all know here that dogs are not just great friends, but they're a great help around the place. In Switzerland, dogs rescue people in the snow. They do basic first aid and ski a bit. I can't even get my dog to sit, but that's my problem. Probably shouldn't use the Sean Connery accent, but that's, another issue. But the brilliant thing about dogs is that they can tell when you're ill, which I think is very useful. It's like having your own live-in doctor, isn't it? Except cheaper and less patronising. In fairness, it's the same cure for every ailment, whether it's a heart attack or a slight graze. They just lick you. And, that's possibly not my strongest point, but doctors don't lick you. They refer you to a specialist and who may lick you. But this is the key point, ladies and gentlemen. Dogs are dependable creatures. I mean, who else is going to guide the blind? I mean, perhaps Richard finds it amusing for blind people to fall into drains. Maybe that's his idea. Maybe that's his idea of fun. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is the trusty dog we rely on to do this difficult job. But perhaps Richard wants blind people to be banned as well. I don't know.
Do make sure you ask me about that.
I will ask you later.
Rather than just leave that hanging. Richard wants blind people to fall into some holes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just leave that.
As your Facebook status.
But the important thing to remember is that dogs know stuff that we don't know. You probably know that dogs, and indeed other pets, kind of know when there's a disaster imminent. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence from Japan recently that in advance of the recent disasters, that dogs became very agitated and moved to higher ground. And so, you know, this
really
is
helped,
handy.
didn't it?
No, but OK, I accept that we can't rely on animals exclusively for our information. I mean, you can't be 100% sure if it's a tsunami coming or just the postman. But it slightly undermines my own argument. I know that. The point remains that dogs know stuff. But they're also great fun. I mean, let's face it, the best thing about having a dog is he lets you dress him up. Now, you know, he probably doesn't like that very much, but he goes along with it because he's obliging. I mean, you know, like, Asha, can you get a tartan jacket onto that monster? I don't think so, no. But a dog will let you do that. Most animals won't. Most of your friends won't. Your wife certainly won't. You know, she'll just go on about, oh, my dignity. You know, dogs don't have that problem. And I know Richard would probably say that dogs and pets are messy creatures. And I have a dog, and you know, yes, I don't like first thing in the morning, my first job every day is to pick up dog waste. But I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to consider this. Is there a more appropriate metaphor for the human condition than walking around the block with a bag of shit in your hand? So I hope I have convinced you to vote blue.
Thank you, Aro, and thank you, Asha and Simba. So, Robert and Sean, is anything like to say to support your teammates?
Can I please just step in before... Can I be given a chance? I don't... the question is, all pets should be banned. Not all animals should be banned. I'm not saying animals should be banned. I think there should be dogs. I don't think we should allow them to have pets. So they can go and work for us. They can be our slaves. But my problem is them coming into our house and taking a piss, basically, aren't they?
See, I'm against the working dogs. I'm even against that.
You know,
I think there's enough unemployment at the moment. They're taking their jobs, you know.
The only thing I fear is the kind of rising up of a sort of Planet of the Dog situation, where they make us our slaves and become our masters.
That's the point you wanted to clear up.
Yeah.
Not that you want to push blind people into drains.
Well, no, yes,
yes, quite right.
I find it funny when everyone falls down holes. I'm not prejudiced against anyone.
That's a good point. Anything you'd like to say?
I think pets are very important. Pets are, you know, they provide company for, you know, the elderly and the vulnerable and the mentally infirm. And take Paris Hilton. I mean, there's no dogs, then, you know, what's she going to keep in her handbag? Who's going to give her careers advice? I don't think you've thought this through.
I would go further. I would say that dogs actually civilized us. It was when the dog came into our lives in the early days of Homo sapiens. He showed us qualities that we didn't have in those days. You know, loyalty, friendship, devotion.
But the thing we'd like most to learn from dogs is being able to lick our bollocks, isn't it? That would be wonderful.
It would be good.
Nobody'd be here. I would literally be lying down in a corner there, just licking my bollocks all day.
But as well with pets, you know, like these people like the snake and the spider and the lizard, these crazy people that get these for pets. If one were to lose their pet, what you want to think is, oh, I miss Snuggles or something. You don't want to lose your pet and think, fucking quickly! Everyone get out! Get out! Get the gun! Quickly! And you have to go outside and start putting posters on trees saying, if found, fucking shoot it! Shoot it! It's terrifying.
I hate that. You know when people put a reward up, they've lost a dog, and they put a reward up, and it really annoys me because I think, what sort of mercenary bastard do you think I am if I found Tiddles that I wouldn't phone you up and hand him over to you? That I'd hold on to him until I got a satisfactory amount of money? Is that how you see the human race? Is that what having dogs in your life has done to you? What do you think I'm going to do with it? Put it in an orange jumpsuit and send a video to Al Jazeera? Oh, makes me sick, that. So, it's time for our studio audience to decide who made the best case. It's blue for Ardle and red for Richard. Please vote now. So it looks like it's a win for the Blues.
It's interesting that dog shit sends you blind, and they use dogs for blind people, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose there's no danger after they've actually gone blind.
That's what they're thinking.
If I'd said that before, that could have swung the whole thing. That would have been enough.
Yeah, I can see people spinning them round now. Before we go, there's just time for the picture round. I'll show the teams a series of images. All they have to do is suggest what argument the picture is proving. Here's your first one.
This is almost certainly an argument for having less tits at the Notting Hill Carnival.
I think it's an argument for planning ahead, and that's Boris's to-do list.
It's an argument for properly explaining the rules of hide and seek to dimwits.
I think it's a very strong argument for Ken Livingstone.
Yes.
I think any time you ever see Boris, you just think, vote Ken. What's this one an argument for?
This is an argument. This is an argument against the German remake of a Jackie Chan movie.
I think that's an argument against the zoom function on a camera.
It's an argument for bigger equipment. Look at the camera beside it.
Is it an argument against smell-o-vision?
No, it's an argument for giving the Nazis back their uniform.
Whatever she's doing, it ain't working, is it? It's having no effect on him. His left bollock is bigger than his cock.
It's an argument for if you've got a tiny cock, don't become a nudist, isn't it? I'm a grower, not a shower, that's what he's saying. It's like when his tripod's going up, we think he's the... I'm like this tripod, honestly.
I'll tell you what it is. It's an argument against writing your lottery numbers on your wife's foot.
I think it's such a shame that we've gone to all this trouble to get up and perform and try and come up with ideas, but the funniest thing on this episode is going to be just a tiny cock.
Here's the next picture. What's this an argument for?
It's an argument against ordering the set dinner in a French pub.
An argument for finally allowing the euthanasia of Zippy and George.
It's an argument for not talking to the character down the pub.
It's an argument against alcohol, because that pony's ended up with a right minger.
So, time for the final vote. Vote now. So it looks like it's a win for the red team. Which means tonight's show is a draw. Right. So thanks to tonight's guests, Richard Herring and Ardle O'Hanlon, and to our captains, Sean Walsh and Robert Webb. Good night.
The sin bin has been polished and the audience have rehearsed the thick and slow song. Our Murray's Compete for the Meat is next, here on Dave.